Hey, 8th grade. In the last lesson, we talked about how to write quadratic equations in vertex form, and in this one, I want to talk about how to write them in standard form, and also when to know when you should use which form. So the basics are, if you know the vertex and a point, then you're going to use vertex form to write your equation. If you do not know the vertex, and then you're going to use standard form, and to do that, you need to take any 3 points. Okay, you need 3 points if you don't know the vertex, and that's going to enable you to use standard form. So in each of these examples, I've given you 3 points on a parabola. None of them are the vertex. Okay, they're just 3 points that are on the parabola, and we are going to write these equations in standard form using those 3 points. You are going to want your graphing calculator to do this, so if you don't have your graphing calculator, go ahead and click pause, go grab it, and then come back and click play. Okay, so for this first example here, we're given the points 0, 0, -1, -2, and 1, 6. Again, none of these are actually the vertex, they're just 3 points on the parabola. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label these points as point 1, point 2, and point 3. And I'm going to use the fact that I know that standard form is this, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And if you remember from the last video, I told you every time you're given just a random point in the parabola, that can be an x and a y value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug each of these points in as an x and a y value to my standard form. Okay, so for my first point, it's going to look like this. Your first point is telling you that y is equal to 0, the y coordinate is 0, so we're going to have 0 equals, and then we don't know a, b, and c, so those we're going to have to keep where they are. But we do know that x from this point is also 0. So I'm going to plug in a 0 for x. So we'll have 0 squared times a, and then plus b times 0 for our first point. I'm going to do the same exact thing for my second point. So I'm going to be plugging in an x and a y value to standard form for that point. Okay, that point, the y value is -2. And the x value is -1. And then for my third point, I'll be doing the exact same thing. For my third point, my y value is 6, and my x value is +1. And so if we simplify each of these equations I've made here, we get the following. For equation 1, we get 0 equals, well, 0 squared times a is going to be 0. 0 times b is 0, so we basically get 0 equals c. For your second equation, you get -2 equals -1 squared is +1, so you get a. -1 times b is minus b, and then plus c. And then for your third equation, you get this. You get 6 equals 1 squared is 1 times a is a. You get a plus b here, plus c. So we have now a system of 3 equations with 3 variables, and we can use what we know about solving systems of equations in order to find a, b, and c. Okay, now this system right here, because of the way it's simplified, it wouldn't be too difficult to do that by hand. You already know c is 0, so you could plug in a 0 for c right here, then use some elimination to solve for a. But for each of these, remember I taught you a few weeks ago in class how to solve a system on your calculator, so we're just going to practice doing that for all these problems. There's no need to go through and do these by hand. It might be a good idea just to practice this on your calculator. So you're going to go to your scratch pad on your calculator, and then once you're on your scratch pad, you're going to hit menu 3 for algebra, and then 2 for solve system of linear equations. And we have a system of 3 equations, so we're going to backspace and type in 3 for number of equations. Our equations are using an a, b, and c, so I'm going to do a, comma, b, comma, c for my 3 variables, and then hit enter. And then I'm just going to type in each of these equations that I have here. So my first equation is 0 equals c. My second equation is -2 equals a minus b plus c. And then your third equation is 6 equals a plus b plus c. And when I hit enter for that, I get the ordered triple 2, 4, 0. So that tells me that a is equal to 2, b is equal to 4, and we already knew c was equal to 0, so that's good. And so now I can use those a, b, and c values to write my equation in standard form. So my equation is going to be y equals 2x squared plus 4x, and then c is 0, so we don't need to include that. So y equals 2x squared plus 4x. Okay, let's do the same thing for number 2. So this time our 3 points are 1, negative 2, 2, negative 2, and 3, negative 4. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write my 3 equations, plugging in a y coordinate for each one and an x coordinate for each one. And again, leaving my a, b, and c values as they are, so we can solve for those. So y for the first equation is negative 2 and x is positive 1. For my second equation, y is negative 2 as well, x is positive 2. And then for my third equation, y is negative 4 and x is positive 3. So if I simplify each of these equations, I get negative 2 equals a plus b plus c for my first equation. My second equation, I get negative 2 equals 2 squared is 4, so you get 4a plus 2b plus c. And then for your final equation, you get negative 4 equals 3 squared is 9, so 9a plus 3b plus c. And now I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'll do the exact same thing. One easy thing for this is once you have this first equation, or this first system set up on your calculator, you can always just go up. All of our equations we're going to be using an a, b, and c. So you could just arrow up, highlight this whole thing, and then hit Control C to copy it, and then arrow back down, hit Control V to paste it, and then you can just go through and you can change each of your equations as needed. Might be a little bit quicker than going through your menu and doing that process again. So negative 2 equals a plus b plus c is my first equation. My second equation is negative 2, which I already have here from last time, equals 4a plus 2b plus c. And then my last equation is negative 4 equals 9a plus 3b, plus c. And if I solve that, I get a is negative 1, b is positive 3, and c is negative 4. So your equation this time for standard form would be y equals negative x squared plus 3x minus 4. Okay, what I want you to do now is number 3. I want you to try that one on your own, so click pause, and then when you're done, go ahead and click play to check your answer. Okay, so for number 3, the equation in standard form is y equals negative x squared plus 6x minus 6. Here's my work for my 3 equations, plugging in again my x and my y values for each point into your standard form. They simplified to negative 1 equals a plus b plus c, 2 equals 16a plus 4b plus c, and then you get c equals negative 6 from your last one. And so if you go to your calculator, this is how it should look like plugged in. And then I get the order triple negative 1, 6, negative 6 for my a, b, and c values. Okay, and then one more I just want you to practice. Again, for this one, go ahead and try this on your own by clicking pause, and then once you're finished, click play to check your answer. Okay, for this last one, should have gotten the equation y equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 3. Again, here are your 3 equations by plugging in your x and y values. And then here's what it should look like on your calculator. Order triple is 2, negative 4, 3, which is how you get this equation. So again, if there's anything you weren't sure of on this video or made a mistake on, feel free to go back through and watch anything you need. Write down a question to ask for the next time. And until I see you again, have a nice day. You're all wonderful people. Take care.